All right, so let's pick back up where we left off. I hope the hater comes back and we can have a little chat. So let's go.
Good. This goes viral because a lot of people start clowning him, but it isn't the only video of its kind. This is them being escorted out. Now, apparently, they're let back in later, according to them.
Okay, we saw this already. Let's skip ahead a little bit.
Does he
be in there day one? Hey,
the country and start a concentration camp? Work on the people around you. Like, how come your homie Fresh been talking about I've been in the gym, and he still look like an auntie? And look, it's okay.
I don't know.
But you're over here talking about you want to put people in fat camps. Your whole team is fat, or they got speech impediments, or they got both. I don't know if they spend all their days sipping coconuts in Barbados, but you got to stop talking about these camps, my guy. Is they start posting footage of themselves at the event itself.
Exo Charles, welcome to the stream, sir. How you doing, man? Yeah, dude, this is I hope you guys are all enjoying the stream, dude. Sorry, we had a little bit of a technical difficulty. Hopefully I can stitch these two streams together. If not, it is what it is, man. We might have to just keep it going. But yeah, dude, welcome to the stream, dude. Good to see you, man.
They're like, we didn't get kicked out. But if you pay attention to the footage, it's all the footage that's from outside the convention.
Yo, you got the sound clip. Dude, I got all the sound clips, man. I told you I was going to do it, man. At least I try to keep my word, okay? When I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do something, you know? If I hear something from, like, Fresh or, you know, or Myron and something that I don't agree with.
I don't know. I could care less.
Of course, you know? But, you know, I had to get, of course, if someone does anything sus.
Oh, hell no!
And then, of course, the classic. And then, you know, if someone says something fucked up, there you go. So, but, you know, I'm not going to overuse this stuff. I just thought I'd, you know, add it to the stream and, you know, keep it going, dude. I mean, ever since I updated my computer, I had to start everything from scratch. So that's why the stream looks the way it looks. I had to change everything around, but I think we made improvements along the way.
None of it is from the inside or the main floor, which they're banned from. I hope everyone has freedom and prosperity. After interacting with people of diverse racial, ethnic, and national backgrounds, it's the individual's character, not the groups, that counts. I learned a lot, but this will likely be the last political event I attend. And you know what stuck out to me right away when I read this?
That doesn't sound like Fresh's voice. It sounds like he used ChatGPT to write his little tweets, whatever. And I apologize for the ads. I'm going to definitely edit all this stuff out after the stream is over, so no worries.
He uses ChatGPT for tweets that are 140 characters.
I believe it.
Y'all know he didn't write that shit, right?
No, he didn't write that.
I believe that Walter uses ChatGPT for his tweets, and he also uses audiobooks for his reading. Like, he doesn't have time to read, he only has time to listen.
You always know it's ChatGPT. I don't know why people do this though when there's a fucking dash. Mm-hmm. I want to redo this whole tweet, but just as if Walter was talking. Okay,
yeah, go ahead.
The thing is, like, if you can't read Walter's tweets in his voice, then you know he didn't write it.
Absolutely, I can do that. I'll just dive right in and give.
Awkward. Think about this for a second. I went there, I saw things, I talked to people, all kinds of people. And what I realized is, at the end of the day, it's not about labels. It's about character. I learned a lot from the experience. That being said, I'm good. Probably my last political event. So this is one of Myron's best friends, all right?
That's a little bit more spot on. You know, a lot of more pauses, a lot more catchphrases, you know, because he always relies on those same words, you know.
And he was caught unaware watching a clip he shouldn't have. This is Tommy Sotomayor. If you don't know who Tommy Sotomayor was, this was the man who was twerking and throwing it back for other dudes on the Myron yacht for the dancing with the fellas.
It's a behavior.
You're a fucking by the way, bitch.
Having dreads is a behavior.
it is.
And all on these pictures with white men kissing on you, but that's not gay behavior.
That's his homie.
Myron's very first relationship in college, okay?
So
That's
funny, it's
gay
funny.
behavior.
here's the thing, lady. Like,
Pause.
you're coming in here, obviously making these, you know.
I don't have an issue with gay people at all.
Okay, so Let me ask you this.
Do this.
I love how Myron, he's about to like turn it back on her. He's like, yo, what if I actually was gay? Would you still call me out on that stuff? And we're like, yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you're gay, you're gay. We're just going to call it, you know? But if you're going to act like you're going to do stuff that is sus and then say that it's not gay, but you're going to claim that you know everything else that's gay, yeah, it's like we're going to call it like we see it, man.
If I was actually gay and actually homosexual, would you make that comment?
That's why he's still gone.
Yes, we would.
If I was actually gay,
It's gone.
would you say that? Would you
Yes.
actually call me homosexual if I was actually gay?
If you are actually a homosexual, yes, I would call you a homosexual. Would you call me black if I was actually black and I am? Yeah.
That's perfect. That's perfect. The perfect response, dude. Like, I mean, you got to call it like it is, man. I mean, Myron, stop running from it, dude. It's like everybody knows and nobody cares, man. It's like you're the only one who cares. It's like your whole image would be completely ruined, you know, because you're supposed to be this masculine, toxic alpha male, whatever. And, you know, you get all these women and stuff like that because you're a 1% man, but you hate women. You can't stand women. You can't even stand pleasing women or being around them for too long. So it's like you'd rather be around your boys because your boys keep you hard. Women make you soft, men keep you hard.
And that's when this you just
Roll out. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum.
and that's when you hit that.
Bum, bum, hold out.
Don't never let him forget, bro. That was his first relationship, and he got cheated on by a motherfucker who rollerblades. Let's keep listening.
If you're gay, I'm gonna call you gay.
The thing about black women, this is what y'all do. Number one, dreads are an L, by the way. It's an unprofessional look. Let's just keep it 1,000. Nobody
Stay on
wants
topic. Stay on topic.
world and look. No, because I'm addressing that as well. And this ain't your show, so you don't tell me what topic we're gonna be on. So you don't run how this goes. Let me be very explicit about that. Here's a fucking guest, bitch. Okay? Know your fucking.
He's
That's
still
number
laughing.
Number two.
Yo, I didn't realize he was gone this whole time. He's still laughing.
Still laughing.
And at the end of the day, you know, Myron never gonna live down them pictures. You know what I mean? He knows what it is. He was in bed with dudes, and he was rolling with them, thrusting them from behind every day. I don't care what nobody says.
He only has excuses for the one where they're in bed. He doesn't have any excuses for the one of the concert where he's hugging the guy from back, kissing him on the neck and or the ear or whatever, and then leaning back near the guy in the booth or whatever. It's all the same guy. It's all his rowing mate in college and stuff. But he only wants to talk about the one where they're in bed because that's the story where he has it rehearsed. He has to say it over and over again. And it's his heterosexual spiel, It's like he knows it inside and out because he's had to use it so many times.
Shane, you can say, I'm a gay, I did this with a girl, I let a girl bucket eat his ass. I don't mind.
It's a girl.
At the end of the day, I ain't in bed with dudes, you ain't saying? And even if you are, that's okay. But it's not okay if you red pill, baby. It's not okay if you fluke and fraud, if you fresh fit and fabulous, if you fruity and spit, it's not okay. And I'm still rolling, baby. You know what I mean? My rollerblade's not coming off tonight. I'm leaving with somebody's girl. You guys watching right now, careful. I'm rolling through, and if any of you niggas red pill,
Swapping a girl.
me and Rico
Swapping them
running
girls.
a train on your girl while we moving. You understand what I'm saying? So I just wanted to be able to say that. I reworked it, and I think when I reworked it, I was like, preach with like what I've done.
If you're trying to stay lean and jacked and athletic from the comfort of your own home.
All right.
Red pill in the streets, true simp in the sheets. I got 1,000 bodies, I've been with 1,000 ladies, you know me. I got 1,000 bodies, I've been with 1,000 ladies, you know me. I got 1,000 bodies, I've been with 1,000 ladies, you know me.
Some other people had to chime in and say how they felt about the whole
Another club banger by Alvin Preach.
thing.
Point did a smart thing. They're not allowing Muslims into their conference.
Wow, look at this. See, this is what happens at Turning Point. This is what happens in American politics. These Jews are laughing because Myron got rejected. And he's not going to lose any deals by saying this. If you flip it, if you said, oh, it's good that they're not letting Jews into Turning Point, you're never going to Turning Point again. You're never going to get a position in D.C. If you say the same exact thing about Muslims, you can be invited to the White House and you can get this lanyard on. And yeah, they shut it down. Well, these cards will be at a convention where it's supposed to be about free speech and American values.
Who said it's about that, though?
No, it's not about free speech, man. It's about their values. And if you go against their values and you have extremist views, then yeah, they don't want you represented there. It's kind of as simple as that.
You see, this is a thing where these guys do like, it's not fair, racism, whatever. They told you what they're about, right? The Conservative Party told you that they're for Israel and the Jews. Y'all keep talking shit about them. They don't want you there. For all the people like, oh, Charlie Kirk's my hero. Charlie Kirk was also for them same people. Myron wear this like Cookie Monster shirt afterwards.
That is such an idiotic design, dude. Let them cook, and it's the Cookie Monster cooking cookies, whatever. But like the connotation is, putting Jewish people in the ovens. It's just like, come on, man. It's like no self-awareness at all.
They took pictures. Let them cook, right? Which is like joking about how they put the Jews in the ovens or whatever.
Yeah, but they're cooking you right now.
Right. So he got the people who he took pictures with in trouble because they didn't know what the reference was. I just don't understand. Like, this is like minorities who go up to Klan meetings or they wouldn't let me in. You're not part of the team, stupid. Just because a couple other rejects in the space like to talk to y'all doesn't mean you're part of the team. I could never imagine going to a space where they're rejecting me based off of me being, Muslim or black, and then sitting around trying to gain access.
Myron wants to be accepted by the alt-right. He wants to be their lapdog and be able to spew their talking points so he can get like a pat on the head and get invited to these conventions and stuff. And when it backfires on him, he's back to square one. He's got to figure out what do I have to do? Who do I got to talk to get back in?
And then proudly coming out the next day talking about, nah, they let me in. Well, how would you even want to be associated with a group like that?
No, there's something very weird and wrong psychology in there. Where you're not wanted, they clearly say that you're not wanted. It's not even like dog whistling. It was really clear, numerous times. And you fight your way to defend them and to be there when you're not wanted. There has to be something really, 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 really wrong with you for you to be like, I'm not wanted there. They don't want me, and I'm going to go back.
I mean, basically, Myron's need to be wanted by the alt-right, that is so strong in him. He doesn't care the individuals that go against him, in the X spaces and also at these events, he's just like, look, these are just individuals, but I'm a good person. All right. I pretty much align with what they're talking about. And yeah, he's like, I think we should definitely get, we should definitely, he wants to be on their side so bad, but it's real sad, because he hasn't looked in the mirror recently. He doesn't know that, they don't rock with your talking points and the way that you are, man. And also you're a Muslim, so they don't want you around.
Think that's your kink. You like humiliation.
I don't even think it's that. I think they don't like their own identity, and they identify with the people who hate their own identity. And so they just feel a proximity to that.
Sure.
And it's better to be with that group than to be with the group that deserves to be hated.
But it doesn't get you closer. You're just going to get a first seat at what's going to happen to you next. You're going to get a VIP seat of what's going to happen to you next. And when he was in that group and he was talking to that other people, and that person said, hey, man, don't think that if we get the power that you're staying with us.
And we need to have a majority of white people, and white people need to be running America. Only white people.
So you want to be
that classic Nick Fuentes clip. And it was funny because I saw on Reddit where Nick Fuentes had said that he wanted to go back on Fresh and Fit. They probably... There's no beef, he still likes Myron a lot, but he thinks that Walter, not aligning with Myron was kind of a detriment to them.
Country,
you need to get out. Take your shit and you get out. You're on the next train. You're not gonna, you're gonna help us, great, but bye-bye.
Yeah. They don't want you there, bro.
At the end of the day, they're fucking low IQ, they're low impulse control. Even if, they say a few things that are based or whatever by our standards, don't fucking fall for it. Don't think that they're on our side. Oh, based. It just doesn't happen. You know what I mean, though?
On top of that, it's like, of course they don't want you. It's a Zionist movement, right? They're for the Jews. So if you're anti, why would they want you there? I don't know. To me, it's just...
And you're asking yourself why you're getting kicked out? And while outside of that same event, you're belittling a Jew.
True.
You do
no
not
self-awareness, you know? It's like his mouth basically spews all this crap before he can actually have any tact and realize, oh, you know, like I need to kind of, you know, edit myself because I'm not online anymore. You know, I'm actually out here in real life, and you know, it's gonna get me into some trouble.
I understand. You've been saying all that stuff for all that time. You don't think that someone in that organization was looking at you like, oh, is that dude that's been saying some stuff about us?
It's a country with freedom of religion. It's a country where we're supposed to have dialogue, especially with people that you disagree with. And here they are mocking you to your face. Right here, he's mocking you, saying, look, we don't give a fuck about American values. We don't care at all. It's got to benefit us.
They don't let these Muslims into their conference.
They're so happy. Look at them giddy and giggling far away.
Yeah, we canceled them. Yeah, we're gonna debank and get them banned.
Sometimes I listen to these guys and like how they play their whole victim thing, but I'm not even mad at these people who hate Muslims. You want to know why? Because he always told you they hated Muslims.
No, it's not a surprise.
Can we just for a second, like, I know Sneeko is on his Muslim arc, and so he has an issue with some of these guys and what they're saying, but they've always felt this way. Mm-hmm. They've always had a problem with Islam. The Conservative Party has never been accepting of Muslims. It's like, why sit there and be like, oh my God, it's supposed to be. It's never been about that. When in the last 40 to 50 years have you ever seen conservatives championing Muslims? I'm asking. Of course they're going to celebrate when you get kicked out. They don't want you in their space. This whole idealistic nature that he has of like freedom of religion and all these different things isn't something that conservatives have ever been trying to fight for. Mm-hmm. And it's not a critique, it's just a matter of fact. Like, they don't like the idea that their culture is changing. They don't like the idea that there's this influx of immigrants and, you know, they do their morning prayers and they have their calls. They don't like that shit because they're trying to conserve their idea of what America is.
And did Myron say that we should ban all Muslims? Or, well, he said Muslims are guests in the country, so that whole praying in public and stuff, it's like, go to a mosque, you know? It's like, don't upset the conservatives, you know, because this is their nation and stuff. We're just guests in their country. I remember that whole thought process he had. It's like, what do you think was going to happen when you actually go to one of their conventions? Yeah, it's like they're going to ostracize you and get you kicked out because they don't want you there.
And for a long time, it didn't include Muslims. So to sit there and be like, oh, can you believe this? Is this what they really think?
Answer, object.
What the fuck is this guy doing?
Oh, no.
Call me Hostradamus. I never miss. I think you miss with your ex-girlfriend because she left you with a nigga who rollerblades. I don't know. If you can predict the future, how come you didn't predict that? You know what I mean? Getting cheating on my mother, a high-value man, got 6 figures, 7 figures.
I don't know. I could care less.
Over 6 foot tall, in shape. How'd you lose her to rolling? Oh, was he tuned in? I know he is, because you know what I mean? He a cloud chaser, you know what I mean? I always appreciate Myron, and I say that not because I believe it, just because it pisses him off.
Do this.
Yeah, so you got Myron's lackeys now joining Abba Preach chat, spamming sodomite in the chat, and yeah.
Let's take over these bitch ass niggas chats. Homosexual, would you make that comment, guys?
But what you don't understand, Myron, is by going into somebody else's chat and spamming sodomites, whatever, you're giving them engagement. So it's like you're still boosting them up. You're not doing anything negative by having your lackeys go and raid their streams. I don't get it, man.
Shit on these niggas chats, man. These guys just spam sodomites. Just spam sodomites in their chat.
You know what I like about Myron the most? Is that every time he comes to talk shit, he always has to subscribe and wait.
Yes.
Like how funny that is to imagine just hitting that button and be like,
any minute now.
Fucking got him. Meanwhile, Rollerblade Rico got your girl.
Damn.
This part for you. Watch.
Again! You fucking idiots!
Shout out to Abba and Preach, man. That's I mean, that's the thing, man. They just keep taking L's, dude, and you know, we're here for it. You guys know it, man. That's one thing that it just seems that Myron has this weird just fetish for just being ridiculed, man, and he can't stop it. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about, I know last stream we talked about the Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul fight, and I did want to talk about this very briefly, but Anthony Joshua was in a car crash in Nigeria with his personal trainer and coach, and both of those people lost their lives. Anthony Joshua came back with, a little bit of injuries, whatever. I believe the driver has been charged now. But yeah, let's listen to this real quick. There is footage on Reddit for those of you that want to see the gruesome stuff. I'm not going to show it here for obvious reasons, but I did get to see it. And, yeah, the trainer, unfortunately, I believe the lighter skin, guy that was one of his friends, he unfortunately got decapitated, and it was a pretty gruesome sight. Luckily, so the way it was positioned, you have two people. Okay, so two people in the back seat, one person in the front passenger seat, and then the driver. On the driver's side, Anthony Joshua was sitting behind the driver, and they were going down a road, and there was a stationary truck that was on the side of the road that they had clipped into. What was said was that one of the tires blew on the road. The driver lost control and ran in the right side of the car into the corner of the truck. So the corner of the truck, which was like this metal part, basically just went into the passenger side. That was his trainer, and then it also got the guy that was sitting behind the passenger side, and they both weren't wearing seatbelts, so they were both ejected from the vehicle. And yeah, so it was just craziness.
Regarding Anthony Joshua, he's been involved in a serious car crash in Nigeria. Now, Reuters news agency say he suffered minor injuries, but 2 people have died in the incident. According to eyewitnesses, the accident occurred along a busy highway where a vehicle carrying Joshua collided with a stationary truck. The exact cause of the accident is now being investigated. There's no statement from Anthony Joshua's team on the incident just yet. He was in action against the YouTuber turned boxer Jake Paul, wasn't he, in Miami 10 days
So that's
ago.
just a very brief video on it. The one I saw that was a little bit more in depth, let me see if I can find it real quick. Because it was, actually, let me see if I can find Anthony Joshua car crash, and then I'll find the exact guy that I watched. Yeah, it was this gentleman right here, Mr. Derek Van Shake. I think that's his.
Here's how you can take advantage of IUL to build.
This is the video that I was talking about. They give us all the information in terms of the crash and how it all transpired. So.
What did Anthony Joshua see and experience when his SUV slammed into that truck parked on the side of the road, sadly killing his 2 best friends and nearly ending his...
So both of these guys were friends of him, also trainers and coaches. This gentleman here on the right was the one that was sitting in the front passenger seat, and this gentleman on this guy on the left here, he was sitting in the rear passenger seat, and Anthony Joshua was sitting behind the driver.
His life too. Anthony Joshua, who simply goes by AJ, is the former boxing world heavyweight champion who recently fought and knocked out Jake Paul on December 19th.
And then you just keep exploiting that. Some people give up, some people get knocked out.
Then just a week and a half later, when AJ was apparently visiting his family in Nigeria for New Year's,
he has said on social media previously that his grandparents live in Ibadan, so he likely was heading in that direction.
They were allegedly traveling at a high rate of speed, somehow losing control, where some eyewitnesses claim they were cut off by an unknown driver, possibly causing the driver to swerve and hit the massive tractor trailer parked on the shoulder of the road, where it completely destroyed the right side of their vehicle, apparently instantly sadly ending the lives of Sina Gami, 36, AJ's strength and conditioning coach, and Lats Iodil, 36, AJ's personal trainer, both of who were longtime friends of AJ.
And it's really sad, how quickly, this bad stuff can happen right after you reach such a high peak, I mean, he had just knocked out Jake Paul, you know, and made a big name for himself. And then this happened. It was like within a week. So just goes to show, man, it doesn't matter who you are, you know, your life can be over like that.
Show you the streets of Nigeria. Oluwasina, the first Iranian ever to step foot in Nigeria.
Hey, 2 times this year as well, that's crazy. April, December.
Oh God, you're called Oluwasina now, bro.
Yeah, so I did a little bit more research on the driver. Apparently the driver was driving without a license as well, a valid license. And I don't know how common that is in Nigeria, but you know, some people were saying that, yeah, you want to, if you're like an athlete like Anthony Joshua, you would think that you would do the due diligence of hiring like a professional driver that is licensed and all that stuff. But I'm guessing that some things just kind of fell through the tracks, and yeah, it was kind of bad. Coke Benny just came back. He says, holy shit, dude, I just saw the footage. I told you, man, it's all over Reddit. All you got to search is Anthony Joshua car crash, not safe for work, and it's all there. I saw it earlier and I was just like, damn, dude. Not for the weak at heart. I will say that, yes, as far as updated news about it, the driver has been charged, and I'm not sure exactly like what exactly the charges were, but they did say he was charged with manslaughter, whatever, or reckless driving and all the other stuff, because he was flying at a super high speed. Which, you know, come on now. It's like, there's no need to do that, you know? It's like, just drive the speed limit. Or, you know, don't be weaving through cars and stuff. And, I mean, yeah, it's like, you drive at the high speed, you get a tire blowout, you're going to lose control. You don't have time to slow down, you know? And that truck on the side of the road just happened to be there just to clip the whole right side of the car and completely take those 2 guys out, you know? And, yeah, it's awful. It's awful.
From the video footage after the crash, we ominously see AJ sitting alone in the back seat of the SUV in an apparent daze, staring at the seat where his friend was sitting.
Broken glass everywhere. I mean, he's lucky. He's lucky as hell to be alive. You know, the fact that he chose the seat behind the driver. He could have chose any seat in that car. And yeah, he got super lucky here.
And then we see him being helped out of the vehicle in pain, although reportedly he experienced only minor injuries. But what did he see during that moment of impact, and what occurred in the direct aftermath? It's graphic, so we're not going to show any of those photos or video, but I will describe what AJ likely saw in those traumatic moments and discuss how experiencing and how witnessing a traumatic event like that could now possibly psychologically impact AJ. First, my heartfelt condolences go out to Cena and Latz's friends and family, specifically AJ, who sadly saw this happen to his friends. What seemed to happen is that for whatever reason, we're not entirely sure the exact reason at this point. There's conflicting information of why they swerved to the side of the road, but
yeah, the driver had reported that the front, I think it's either front or the rear front right tire, passenger tire, or rear tire blew out, and that's how it caused them to swerve. I would probably think it's probably the rear tire, give them to fishtail into the truck here. And that's what caused them, because they were going too fast, and that's how they lost control.
They apparently swerved to the side of the road, whether it was a tire blowout, whether they were going too fast and lost control, or maybe someone cut them off. Regardless, they swerved to the side of the road.
Nigerian authorities say Anthony Joshua's car was speeding and lost control while overtaking, rammed into a stationary truck that was well parked on the side of the road,
and clipped the steel reinforcement of the trailer on the tractor. So sadly, the 2 passengers that were sitting on the right side of the vehicle got taken out. However, AJ and the driver only suffered minor injuries because their side of the vehicle was not directly hit by the trailer of the tractor trailer. Initially, when I saw the footage, like you probably were, I was maybe a little confused. It was like, wait, there's 2 of his friends died in the accident. where are they? Because the footage that most of us all saw on social media was just AJ sitting in a crumpled vehicle and then slowly being helped out of the crumpled vehicle.
Yeah, his friends are nearby. They're just ejected from the car. They're actually behind the car, and you know, it's a very gruesome sight.
We were told 2 of his friends passed away in that vehicle, but there was no sign of them at all. There was no indication that they were even sat there. Where were they? Were they both transported to the hospital earlier? Is that what happened? So where were his 2 friends?
Died on impact.
They were sadly ejected from the vehicle. They apparently cut out that part of the footage that you likely saw in order to post it on social media. And that's why some people were talking about what actually happened, because they happened to get a hold of the really gruesome actual full-length footage of that event. I saw the footage, and yes, it's very gruesome, and you probably don't want to see it. I think when you work in this field, you start to get more accustomed to seeing that kind of stuff. So when I see some gruesome things, I look at it from a scientific, professional lens of figuring out what happened, which is probably also why I can look at some of these gruesome things and it really doesn't affect me. So
honestly, I don't think the 2 friends having seatbelts on would have helped him in that situation anyway, just from the impact itself. I mean, they would have just held him in place to get, you know, even more damaged. You know, the fact that the one guy got his head taken off and the other guy was like completely, I think he basically died from the impact. Yeah, I don't think seatbelts would have helped him in this situation. K5, what's up, sir? Welcome to the stream, man. Haven't seen you in a while. I hope you had a good Christmas and a happy New Year, man. What is this? This is basically the car crash. That Anthony Joshua. He was the boxer that went up against Jake Paul and knocked him out, broke his jaw in two different places. A week later, he's in Nigeria visiting his family for the holidays, and they got into a car crash. Basically, the driver was speeding, and the personal trainers and coaches of Anthony Joshua were in the passenger seat and the rear passenger seat, and Anthony Joshua was sat behind the driver. And Anthony Joshua came away, you know, with a couple scrapes and cuts and stuff, and the driver was okay, but everybody that was on the passenger side was completely taken out.
To tell you what happened, both friends were apparently ejected from the vehicle because they were apparently not wearing their seatbelts, because if they were, they probably would be still strapped in. They may not have survived it, but they would still be strapped in for what.
Oh, wow. Fire J, what up, bro? Good to see you. I haven't heard you in a long time, man. It's been a couple months. How you been, man? Welcome to the stream. Hope you had a good holiday, man, and a happy New Year to you.
That's worth, especially that front passenger would not have survived, but that back passenger right next to AJ, it's possible he may have survived, because we don't know for sure, because we don't know how that back passenger passed away. Was it getting thrown from the vehicle at a high rate of speed that caused him to pass away? Or was it something involving the tractor trailer carving through that right side of that SUV?
Yeah, from the footage that I saw on Reddit, it seemed like the rear passenger, there maybe was a little bit of blood loss and stuff from the impact, but it was clear the front passenger got like the worst of it. But yeah, I think just impact alone, being ejected from a car at that speed, you know, that absolutely could be something worth noting. Okay, never mind. Fire J, there is a person that I know called Fire. Fry. Oh yeah, same spelling, but it doesn't say Fire J. I thought you were that person. I apologize. And plus, I don't know this icon. But yeah, the name, I know a person named Fire. Then they make music, and I thought that you were that person. So never mind. But yeah, welcome to the stream. Glad to see that your first time here. Sorry about that. A little bit of a mistaken identity, but yeah, there's a lot of people out there with that name, Fry. But yeah, welcome, sir.
What we saw is one of AJ's friends with blunt force decapitation laying on his back on the side of the road next to the SUV.
Dude, it's so gruesome, man. And it's crazy. Like, whenever you see a person on the side of the road, man, it always looks different than what we see in the movies, you know, because the movies always kind of amplify stuff and make things a little bit more gruesome and stuff. But this one, for some reason, it just like it looks really wild. Looks very almost kind of like bright, like the the gore is very bright red. And I don't know. It just looked a little too bright. But yeah, if you guys want to go see it for yourself, go check it out on Reddit. Just type in Anthony Joshua car crash, not safe for work, and it's right there. I don't want to link it in the video for obvious reasons or even show it to you guys, but yeah, it's pretty wild. Friday just said, I joined your Discord. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. Welcome to the group, man. The headquarters, man. You'll basically, I'm going to be opening up the Discord pretty soon. So if you guys want to chop it up with me, if you guys have anything that you want to talk about, any haters out there that would like to talk to me directly, you're more than welcome. And you know me, I'll talk to anybody. And I've actually talked to one of my haters here, and we featured like a 2-part series for him. So I welcome all haters, but also people that are chill, want to hang out and stuff. More than welcome to. So let's keep going with this one.
It seems obvious that the corner of that truck went directly into that one friend specifically. The other friend who was sitting right next to AJ was also thrown from the vehicle. We're not exactly sure of the cause of death of that second friend, but there could be just the crushing of being thrown out of a vehicle at a very high rate of speed, which could have crushed key organs, especially the brain. So I think the question is in this, what did AJ see and what did he experience? And so I think AJ first experienced their vehicle starting to go out of control. As soon as their vehicle hit the trailer of the tractor trailer, the vehicle itself would become even more out of control and really start to slow down. The fact that it didn't appear that AJ was wearing his seatbelt, and also since AJ's friends weren't wearing a seatbelt, it makes sense that AJ wasn't wearing a seatbelt either. So in that sudden moment of impact, AJ was likely thrown forward and was bracing himself and closing his eyes because there was likely a lot of things going towards him and debris coming at him that would get into his eyes. So naturally we close our eyes in those circumstances. Since he was thrown forward with everything suddenly happening all at once, he likely did not see his friends get ejected from the vehicle.
Yeah, you can hope that he didn't see that, but I'm pretty sure after he opened his eyes and he saw that his friends weren't there, that's got to be even more traumatic, and being escorted outside the vehicle and, looking around, I'm sure he saw his 2 friends. And yeah, I mean, whether he saw it during the impact or he saw it after, man, it's going to stay with him for the rest of his life. And, yeah, I mean, psychologically, he's definitely going to need some therapy for this.
However, with that said, if AJ was looking forward, he likely saw what was going to happen to that front passenger and probably everyone in that right side of that vehicle. And then as he jolts forward, he experiences the whole right side of the vehicle being torn off with all the ancillary debris that was hitting him, and then as well seeing suddenly much more sunlight that's coming into the vehicle. He probably knew quite quickly that they were sadly doomed. Also, there was a lot of people that pulled over, and there were a lot of people on the side of the road that came from their houses that were around that area that probably told AJ that they all sadly passed.
2 white men died. Instantly.
Which further caused him to have that look on his face of just looking down in shock and horror that his friend was sitting right next to him and his other best friend was sitting in the front seat there, and they're both gone. What we see there with AJ looking down at the seat where his friend was initially seated just about a minute ago was that initial shock phase. Once that immediate shock subsides, survivors commonly experience delayed emotional processing, intrusive mental images, and survivor's guilt. This is especially the case when friends die just a foot away from them. Because essentially, AJ had a 1 in 3 chance of living and a 2 or 3 chance of dying. And he guessed right. In that situation, in that vehicle, there were basically just 3 seats that AJ could have chose from. So if AJ chose any of those other passenger seats, he would have ended up like his friends. So in those situations, it's natural for someone to ask, why them and not me? And that's...
This is kind of why I always want to if I'm ever riding in like an Uber or something like that, it's kind of always best, probably the safest to ride behind the driver, because the driver is going to, if something does happen on the road, they are going to kind of have self-preservation. So if something happens in front of the car, they're going to swerve away, and if they make like a delayed reaction and stuff and they still clip a car or something like that, at least their side is going to be the safest, for the most part. But that's the thing. With car crashes, anything can happen. You can get spun around and hit by other cars. And, I've seen multiple car pileups happen. and you know, especially cars that are speeding. You know, it's just so much stuff can happen, and yeah, it's just Anthony Joshua was very lucky, but you know, at what cost for being lucky? You know, he would probably have a different mindset about it. He's like, you know, he's probably not lucky at all. He probably doesn't feel lucky that he just lost two of his closest friends and trainers and coaches and stuff. I mean, that's just not. That's going to do a lot on his psyche.
It's the survivor's guilt. For someone like AJ, whose identity is built around strength, control, and protection, this helplessness can be deeply destabilizing to him. In the weeks and months ahead, AJ may experience hypervigilance, sleep disruption, emotional numbing, or sudden waves of grief triggered by quiet moments. These reactions are not signs of weakness. They're just typically the brain's attempt to reconcile survival with loss, and they often surface long after the world assumes the person is just okay now. So therefore, it's important for someone like AJ, who did experience this, to actually seek professional help. Something else that AJ will likely also experience is feeling like this is all his fault, because if he didn't ask them to go to Nigeria with him, then none of this would ever happen.
This video of the pair playing table tennis shared just hours before the crash.
And if he never even met them, they may still be alive. All of this is sadly the grief and blame that he will likely experience for a very long time. Some people are wondering whether this was a failed attempt hit on AJ.
Paul writing, "Life is much more important than boxing. I am praying for the lost lives, AJ, and anyone impacted by today's unfortunate accident."
Some have said that this is all part of the Jake Paul curse, because almost every single person that Jake fights seems to have something very negative happen to them right after he fights them.
Ben Askren later battling severe health complications. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. pulled into online claims involving legal and immigration issues.
Longtime strength and conditioning coach Sina Gami also killed. He was by Joshua's side for this victory just 10 days ago.
Psychologically, where is the safest passenger seat in a vehicle? Is it behind the driver, the front passenger seat, or the back passenger? Even though a lot of people like sitting behind the front passenger, which a lot of people call the executive seat, I don't think that's the safest spot to sit, technically.
That used to be the spot I would always choose in an Uber, because sitting directly behind an Uber driver, I used to think that would, like, I don't know, I used to always think as the driver that it would be kind of annoying, you know, because at least they can look at you through their mirror if they're having a conversation with you, and they can't really do that if you're sitting directly behind them. And plus, you know, for security reasons, I think for the driver would feel more comfortable if you were more in sight of them rather than behind them, because they don't know if you have a weapon or what you're doing with your hands behind their back, because you're directly behind them. So I used to sit in the rear passenger side, you know, on the right side, just out of a courtesy. But now it's like, if I ever take an Uber or a Lyft, I'll sit right behind the driver, and you know, no question about it. Fry J just came back. He says, Jake Paul's curse is crazy, giving Jake Paul too much aura. I mean, it's just weird coincidences, man. Life is like that. And, you know, I mean, what was the curse that happened to Mike Tyson after he fought him? Everybody was thinking that, you know, oh, it's like, is Mike Tyson to be feared anymore? I think he threw that fight. You know, I think it just seems like he has a lot more power, and he was holding back, and he was just doing it for a paycheck, you know, but nothing bad happened to Mike after that.
Reason why is because the driver is naturally going to have self-preservation, and they're naturally going to try to steer the vehicle away from where they are, and subconsciously maybe ending up somewhere where the passengers are on the right side of the vehicle. So I would say the safest passenger seat in a vehicle is behind the driver. What do you think? Now in the comments, do you think foul play was involved in this crash? Let everyone know in the comments below.
Yeah, common YouTube stuff. But yeah, shout out to this guy, this psychiatrist, Derek Van Shake, whatever, for his coverage on this. I thought it was really sad. You know, it's just wild how things happen in life. And you know, let's go back, because I wanted to show you guys the last thing, a little bit on a lighter note. We're going to talk about Stevie Knight and his Stranger Things take, just so we can tie the thumbnail back together. I wanted to really mix in the fresh and fit with the whole Stranger Things. And I don't know if you guys watched that or not, but, you know, Stranger Things is definitely a series that I started watching from the very beginning. And I remember, me and my wife, we watched it long distance. She was watching it in the Philippines and I was watching it out here in America. And that was the first season. And then the second season, we watched it together. And then we've watched every season together up into this last one. And honestly, the way she felt about the ending, she thought it was a little underwhelming. I didn't really have too much of an issue with it, but yeah, it's one of those things that the internet's going to internet, and there's always going to be people out there that don't like anything gay or woke or whatever, and they're just like, they think that it's just an agenda that's being pushed down our throats, and we shouldn't have to. It shouldn't. The whole coming out scene that Will had, it shouldn't have happened. That's what some people are saying, but what people are understanding is that they wrote it into the story that way, so Vecna, the big bad of Stranger Things, could use that against him. Make him basically afraid to come out to his family and friends because they would basically reject him. And they wrote that so that he wouldn't basically come out to them. They would accept him, and now he can be brave and take on Vecna. So, that was the whole thing about it, but some people are just like, no, I don't like anything gay, it's like, which, that's fine, I guess. But, K5 says, it makes me think about Paul Walker. Well, that's a whole nother can of worms, man. It's like Paul Walker, his car lost control. Wasn't it about brakes or something, like brakes locking up or something and then just crashing? I don't really remember like all the details about it, but it's like, it's kind of wild that he went out the way that he did, and he spent like the last almost 10 years driving cars and stuff in movies, and then probably driving cars even longer before that. And, to go out the way he did, it just seems like, we have the technology to lock down vehicles remotely and cause stuff to happen. So, but yeah, very strange stuff about Paul Walker. And, we may never know exactly how that all went down. Coke Benny says, what do you say about the finale? That he could care less?
I don't know. I could care less.
Well, let's watch out and see, because Stevie Knight, he doesn't have the best take, but I'm not going to poison the well. We're going to watch it right now.
Different. I don't like girls.
Hold on. Let me back it up.
Hey, they say it ain't straight. Hold on. It ain't Stranger. Hold on. It ain't Stranger Things no more. It's gayer things.
I'm sorry. I don't think it's that funny. I think he's kind of playing it up for the camera. It seems like this is very artificial here.
Bruh. Hold on.
That comment isn't that elite, okay?
Hold on. Man up, dog. Tighten up. Y'all know about Stranger Things, right? The show.
K5 says the Stranger Things character was just a regular gay, right? Well, he was the first kid. So Will was one of the first kids that was taken into the Upside Down, and he was fed these dark particles by Vecna, and Vecna basically used his mind to create wormholes, in tunnels and stuff, underground tunnels for the Demogorgons to basically infiltrate our world and use those tunnels basically to travel back and forth from the Upside Down to Hawkins. And he used Will kind of as a vessel to kind of, do that in terms of like, spying on the other characters. And it was just the way I saw it is that Will was kind of like the test subject. He was kind of what Vecna, he basically showed Vecna what was possible. So then by the end, Vecna realized that if he's to collapse the Upside Down and merge Dimension X with Hawkins, he's going to have to amplify his power. So the way he did that was by kidnapping 12 children, because he says the mind of children are so easily moldable and controllable. So that's why he stole 12 kids and he tried to make everything happen. And it was Will who was the first one to show him that he could actually do that. So, but yeah, the fact that Will, I mean, most people say that they knew Will was gay from the first season. It was kind of hinted at, and I think in the first season, Joyce, his mother, told Hopper, that's the cop, that Will is very sensitive, that he's not like all the other boys and stuff, and there was also a couple scenes with Mike and him where, he wanted to just play D&D, and Mike was, he was wanting to kind of spend more time with Eleven, the girl that has the actual powers. And it just seemed like there was a little bit of a struggle between, the spending of time with the guys and trying to like hold back his feelings for Mike and stuff. And I guess the thing that people have a problem with is that they took about 5 minutes in the penultimate episode of season 5 to really just have him have this thing where he comes out to his whole group, and they're about to go in, and they have this whole plan set up for how they're going to go in the Upside Down, use the tower to go up to Dimension X and kill Vecna and the Mind Flayer and all that stuff. And Will is like, well, I got to tell you guys this first. I need to let you guys know that I don't like girls. And some people just had a problem with it because they're like, dude, they thought that, if in that time period, to make it even more accurate, they could have like really rejected him, they could be like, dude, you could have just, we already knew that. You could have stayed in the closet or whatever. And that would have been accurate, sure. But the way that the show played out, it was, they were just like, look, nothing's going to change. You're still cool with us. We still care about you and all this stuff. You're still, you're still her son. You're still his brother. You still are friends, best friends and all that stuff. And so after that happened, Will got over his fear of, letting everybody know that he was gay. And now he was able to really go into the fight with Vecna with no fear at all. And Vecna couldn't use that against him. So, I mean, that's at least what I took from it, but some people did not think that hard, and they're just like, dude, this is completely unnecessary. This is basically preaching this woke agenda, and it's like you're appeasing these people, and a lot of the LGBTQ, they like, dude, this isn't even how it would actually go down. This is not how people actually go out, come out and stuff to their friends and stuff. It's nothing like this. But it was just like, it's how the Duffers wrote it, man. It's like, come on now. And I don't know. I didn't really have too much of an issue with it. I thought it was fine because it was over and done with. And I was like, okay, we can move forward. But yeah. So K5 came back. He's like, okay, so he's just old school gay. None of the letters in the LGBT. Yeah. I mean, it was just, he had a crush on Mike, who, was one of his like first friends and stuff. At least that's what they reviewed it as kids and everything. And then as they got older, his feelings developed more and more for Mike, but Mike, was moving more towards 11, and, they developed their relationship. And I remember it was in season 4. They really kind of like hinted at it. And I think like Will and Mike are both like riding in a car or something. And Will is just like, he's just holding back, or he almost wants to cry a little bit because they're going to go see 11, and Will's right there, and he's like, dude, it's like, I'm right here and you don't care, But it's just one of those things about, a coming of age story. Yeah, you got these unrequited feelings of love and stuff. I mean, I think every man has felt this, not necessarily like gay feelings, but just unrequited love in general, and it's very painful. And for Will, it just happened to be for his best friend, Mike. So
I personally used to watch it. I ain't watched it about 2 seasons because, frankly, I ain't got no time.
Okay, so this is what I think about Mr. Stevie Knight and his whole let's comment on, the ending of Stranger Things. If you didn't watch Stranger Things like all the way through and you skipped like the last 2 seasons, then you missed all of that development in between. You basically watched Stranger Things when it was kind of at its peak in the first season. It had a little bit of dip with the sister story in the second season. They had this battle of Starcourt Mall, I believe, in the 3rd season. I think there was Billy Hargrove was in there. Max's brother was introduced, whatever. He was kind of like a little bit of a villain, whatever, ends up sacrificing himself. And then season 4, you got Eddie Munson, who is the leader of the Hellfire Club. And I mean, I would say that a lot of fans got back on board with season 4 because Eddie was such a beloved character, and then they ended up killing him off. And then season 5, I think, was, for me, it had some ups and downs, okay? Like, the whole battle at the Max Z with the Demigorgons and stuff, amazing. Top tier, it was great. Even finding out that Will was able to, use Vecna's powers, whatever, to lift up the Demogorgons and break their arms and legs and stuff like that. Very cool stuff, It left us on a high note. And then the next 3 episodes were just kind of filler, in my opinion. And then the 2-hour finale episode, it was just like the plan that was being enacted and stuff. And yeah, were there some fake out moments, some fake out deaths? Yeah. I definitely think that there should have been more stakes, at least in the finale. Some people should have died. And people, just off the top of my head, I think who should have probably been taken out. Robin. I mean, she didn't really have much of purpose in the story. I mean, I guess she was kind of the one to kind of, help Will be more comfortable with expressing who he actually is and being, and all that stuff. I mean, I can see that. And then she was also the big exposition dump for when we first came back. She was on the radio show, kind of like catching everybody up, catching up the audience on like what has happened since, the earth has been divided, and basically the earth is split, and you got the upside down crevices, and Hawkins basically been split into 4 pieces. And it talks about how the military covered up those rifts with these big metal plates, and it spanned so many miles that you got kids sledding on them and stuff, and I mean, I think Robin could have died. It would have been fine. I don't think there's many people that really cared about Robin that much. Vicky, her girlfriend, could have died. We kind of saw her briefly, and she didn't really add too much to the story. She could have been expendable. Murray, the guy that was smuggling in items and stuff, yeah, he was helpful, but he could have totally been a person who kind of sacrificed himself, or maybe came up against a Demogorgon, or I don't know, something could have happened, and he could have stayed back and possibly sacrificed himself. That probably would have been all right. They did a fake out death with Steve Harrington, which, for those of you that watched the Jimmy Fallon show, the Duffer Brothers were on there with a bunch of pop figures, and, Jimmy Fallon had said, hey, can you kind of give us a little bit of hint of what we can expect to see in the finale of Stranger Things? And, they had all these pop figures and stuff, and, they set up all the figures, and they had Steve Harrington on the very edge of the desk. And then one of the brothers touches the figure one more time, and he falls off. And it just kind of hinted at that whole time where Stephen Harrington was on the tower and how he, fell off and stuff. The thing is, it's a streaming service. There's no commercials. So you're going to cut to black when he falls off the tower for 3 seconds. And then you come back and it's he's fine. I don't think they had the balls to kill off Steve Harrington because he was such a beloved character. I mean, I know they've done that before with Eddie Munson, but I think they learned their lesson that we can't kill off Steve because people will really turn on the show after that, And there were some people that saw it, and they made a video about it on TikTok where they show the part where he's hanging on and then he loses his grip on his fingers. And one guy just cuts off his TV. He's like, nope, I'm not watching it anymore. And he cuts off before they can come back and show that he's actually saved by Jonathan. So Cook Benny came back. He says, it's because it's been done so many times in media lately and people just get sick of it being shoved down their throats. Yeah, I know. And that's the thing, speaking of, we got all of these girl boss moments, all of the military was led by Linda Hamilton, who had kind of taken the place of Dr. Brenner. She even had the same kind of hair as Dr. Brenner. But yeah, so she was leading the military. You got Max and Holly that were, Holly was leading all the children out of Vecna's compound or whatever, or mansion or something, house or something. And then you got, who else? There was a lot of, and then you got Nancy, who became fucking Rambo, you know, like, oh, I'll be bait for the mind flare. And, you know, she's coming in, you know, hoarding all the weapons and stuff. And they even make a point to say about that. Mike was like, hey, can I get something? You know, you got all these guns and stuff, and I don't have any. All I got is like a couple Molotovs. Can I get something? So she gives him like a little flare gun, you know, which turns out to be a pretty useful item because for some reason, you know, bullets don't really do much to these entities, you know, the Demogorgons and Vecna, and also, you know, the Mind Flare. But fire and knives on sticks pretty much can cut them down, no problem. So, I mean, at least in terms of the lore, it seemed like, I don't know, the way it was done, it was very, very fast. And if you didn't have time to think about what was going on, your brain wouldn't have time to catch up and see the plot holes that are going on. So let's go back. So let's go back to the whole Maxi situation. You got the whole fight with Vecna coming out of the portal, and you know the military's there. They got all their guns. They even have like flamethrowers, and you know they're just unloading their guns into Vecna, and you know he's just absorbing all these bullets and stuff. I mean, he might be even dodging some, but it's not doing anything. No effect whatsoever. They shoot fire at him or whatever. He uses his powers of telekinesis to kind of like shoot the fire back. And that's, I mean, he's pretty much invincible. He's killing people left and right, no problem, you know? But when he goes up on the fight against 11, you know, he had her at one point where she was like in his grasp, you know? Like he had her. He could have at least broken her neck, twisted her body, done that little Groot Vine thing where he just sticks his fingers through her like mouth and eyes and stuff. Didn't do any of that. He had to toss her aside, you know, and we've seen him lift people up, break their legs and break their arms and stuff. He could have done any of that. Didn't do any of that, of course. And it just seemed like the Mind Flayer, which, you know, in previous seasons, we saw the Mind Flayer just being a bunch of particles, dark particles that kind of form this creature together. He's not really like a physical entity, at least when he was in the Upside Down, or also in the well, when he would come into the world, he'd be like this physical entity, whatever. Like I remember in the Battle of Starcourt, he was like this big monster and stuff. That was a physical monster that could have been burned and all that stuff. But then when he was in the Upside Down, he was just a bunch of particles, you know? So then when they show the physical form of him in Dimension X, he's like this kaiju creature, you know, that's huge, you know? And I was like, okay, this is definitely going to be something that it's not going to be easy to take this thing down. But, you know, the kids had plenty of Molotovs, plenty of balloons that had like, I guess lighter fluid in it. I don't know. I mean, we didn't really know what was in those balloons. You got Steve Harrington and what's the other guy? Dustin underneath, basically stabbing the belly with all the eggs and stuff. There was just, I don't know, you would think there would be a lot more Demogorgons. There would have been Demo Bats. There would have been like Demo Dogs, you know, just all around that area, just completely like guarding it. Like you couldn't get inside of the Mind Flayer to get to Vecna because he would be so well protected. None of that was there. And what people will say is that, well, the Mind Flayer basically consumes everything in the world. So it had just been in that dimension for so long that it consumed all life. So even the Demogorgons and all of the Demobats and all that stuff, all of that was absorbed into the Mind Flayer, and that's why there were no creatures. Which I'm like, I don't know, man. I think we're kind of writing this stuff for them. And yeah, for me, I was like, we need to have a lot more Demogorgons because those things are tough. We saw how they go up against the military. It just made such quick work of them. And the fact that nobody of note of, you know, any main characters got like seriously injured at all, like everybody made it out alive, you know, with the exception of Callie. Callie got a shot in the gut. She didn't even have like a major role in the final battle. She got killed by one of the soldiers. And it just seems like they brought her back just to kill her off. And, you know, they're like, look, nobody cares about Callie. That whole sister episode in season 2 was like one of the worst rated episodes next to Will's coming out episode, which I think that one actually edged out the sister episode by like a couple points as far as being the worst received episode. And yeah, from what I understand, it was like they brought back Callie just to kill her off. And 11, they were like, okay, we can't keep 11 alive because she has Vecna's blood or Henry Creel's blood and stuff. So the military is always going to be looking for her. So as long as if you get rid of her, then they can't, you know, do anything with her and try to create more 11s and stuff. So I kind of understood that. But then they filmed this scene where Mike is like doing this whole cope story, like, hey, you know, she's not really dead because Callie was able to create an illusion of her staying in the portal and stuff, and she was actually able to escape and slip away and somehow end up in some far off, you know, land of in the world that has, you know, 3 waterfalls and stuff. I don't know if it was like Iceland or something, but so like, I don't know, how is she getting over there? Is she flying, or is she taking a plane? Like, how is she getting over there? It's like, we don't know. And then, okay, so Coke Benny says, a case of the plot-induced stupidity. Yeah, okay. To that point, Coke Benny, the part where they defeat the Mind Flayer, they defeat Vecna, Joyce chops off his head and stuff, and then they ride back into the Upside Down, and then, yeah, I guess 11 stays back, and the military captures all of them, and then, you know, 11, you know, apparently sacrifices herself, and then they just cut to black, and then they're like 18 months later, I'm like, whoa, what the hell is going on? Like, we gotta actually explain what happened with Linda Hamilton's character, because her whole squad was getting massacred by Hopper and 11. You think they would be in some type of like military jail, you know, like they wouldn't be able to leave alive at least, but they just let them go. It's like, that was one of the first things that stuck out to me. I was like, what the hell? Like, that's a glaring issue, you know, like, how are they going to get out of this? And then they just get out of it. And I was like, and then, you know, you look at the clock and you're like, oh, damn, like we still have like another like 50 minutes of the episode left, you know, and it just ended up being a whole, like, you know, send off, you know, like winding down and kind of like, you know, showing where everybody ends up and stuff. And I was like, I guess that's all right. You know, like the whole part where the only part I had okay that I was okay with was the scene where, you know, the kids are down doing, you know, D&D again, because that's kind of how the show started, you know, and it kind of ends with that. And then the younger kids come downstairs after they finish hanging up all their books and stuff, and they kind of, you know, start their own adventure. And Mike looks back kind of like, you know, it's kind of like a passing of the torch kind of thing. I like that. The part I didn't like, but no, I understood. There's one part that I didn't like, but I also liked too. So the graduation scene. The part where Dustin, I'll tell you what I liked. The part where Dustin, you know, flips off the principal and, you know, has his Hellfire shirt underneath and stuff and basically grabs the diploma and everything and just, you know, runs off. That was everything that Eddie said he was going to do, because he said it like in season 4. I remembered that. I thought that was great. The one thing that I had questions about during the graduation, why is Max, who was in a coma for 2 years, how is she graduating? Okay, she's got like a 0.5 GPA. She missed like, you know, more than 600 days of school. What the hell? You know, how is she graduating? Is she just getting a pass because she was in a coma? I don't think so. I don't know if that's how that works. That was a big plot hole for me. But I mean, the thing is, like, if you're not thinking about this stuff too much and you're just like, yeah, I'm just trying to just enjoy it for what it is, you know, it's like, it's kind of hard, you know, because you got to really kind of turn your brain off and not ask too many questions and just kind of take it for what it is. And, you know, I don't think it should have been 50 minutes of like a wind down thing, you know, you know, the older kids of Steve Harrington, Jonathan, Nancy, and, what's her face? I already forgot her name. Rock and Robin. Yeah. Robin basically saying, oh, you know, I'm going to miss you guys and everything like that. You know, miss hanging out and everything. I'm like, dude, Robin, we just kind of met you, you know, in season 3. And you just, I don't know. We don't really, I was kind of like hoping that she was going to be the one to kind of get taken out. Cause I don't know. I don't think a lot of people really cared about Robin like that. You know, she was just kind of an exposition dump. But the fact that Steve Harrington becomes a baseball coach and also a sex ed teacher, that's kind of funny, I guess. Nancy, you know, not really wanting to, you know, stay in school, whatever, just kind of wanting to take on the world and everything and all that. I mean, I was like, okay, I mean, I can kind of see that happening. Jonathan becoming this anti-capitalist filmmaker and stuff. I was just like, okay. I realized that I was like, the reason they left these characters alive is because they're going to be doing spin-off shows. You know, they're supposed to be doing a Nancy Wheeler spin-off. They're going to do a Harrington and Henderson, basically Dustin and Steve Harrington, like, show. They're going to do Tales from 87, I believe, which is like an animated version of Stranger Things. They're going to do another one with, I think, what's his name? They're going to do like a a Henry Creel spinoff. There's a lot of stuff. I don't know if it's real, but, you know, I've been the last few days taking a lot of Stranger Things content, and it's wild, you know, to me, how they're going to start milking the franchise now, because they realize that this, even though there was a lot of backlash for the finale, there is a lot of people that actually, you know, really had no problem with it, you know? And I'm kind of in that camp that I'm just like, it is what it is. It's not a perfect show. I mean, if we were to compare it to Breaking Bad, is it better than Breaking Bad? No, you know, but nothing is. At least from what I've seen. I haven't seen anything better than Breaking Bad yet. So, but still, I mean, it was an all right show. I mean, it's one of those things that I probably will rewatch and, you know, probably get more information now that I know how it ends, you know, just see the threads that were placed and everything. But no, it was good. I mean, for me, I thought it was a good show. But I don't really have an issue with, you know, the whole gay revealing thing. Like it is what it is. But it's one of those things that if it never happened, it would have been fine, you know, because it actually would have been a little bit more accurate. Because I think people I'm not saying that, you know, there weren't gay people in the 80s. Of course there were. But I think people being scared to come out, I think that could have been a very interesting aspect to have Will, you know, not have that be not a plot point in the story to where Vecna could use that against him, but just have it as like, it's kind of ambiguous. Like we know it as an audience, but they never state it, you know, specifically in the show. I think that would have been better to do. And you probably wouldn't have had as much backlash because people, you know, sometimes people are so stupid, they need to have stuff spelled out for them, you know? And if you're going to do a 5-minute coming out scene, yeah, it's kind of unavoidable. And it's kind of like people can't really skip over that. So, that's why there's going to be people out here, people like Stevie, that are going to have issues with it and just completely focus on the whole gay aspect and not the whole show as a whole, or even the reason why, you know, he had to do that coming out. So, but yeah, Stevie is kind of operating from limited knowledge because he didn't watch the whole series. He's just basically doing content for algorithm's sake. That's at least what I'm getting out of this, but let's continue.
And I can't get into it no more. I used to think it was tough though. You feel me? But anyway, that's irrelevant, dog. The show is getting a lot of backlash because, you know, Stranger Things has chose to focus on gayer things and the audience is not having it.
I think you need to know the truth. Because I don't want you to see me differently. But I am different. I don't like girls.
Oh, hell no! If you don't understand the rules of power, you will certainly lose.
And for those of you, I do want to show you guys something that was kind of funny. Hold on, let me go back. I want to show you guys, I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent. So, let's go, I want to say it was on TikTok. I think I saved it. It wasn't, no, it wasn't TikTok, it was Instagram, I think. Hold on, let me see. I think I saved it on Instagram. go to, let's see. I think it was this one, and go to Reels messages, maybe? General, no, not now. Where do I go to? Oh yeah, here we go. Somebody basically made an AI version of Will coming out, and they made it a little bit more accurate. So let me see if I can find it. Saved. Here it is. It's under my saved. Oh god, is it not here anymore? Hold on. Oh no, where is it? Oh no, is it not here anymore? Crazy? Is it under crazy? No, that's not it. Let's go back. All posts? Oh no. It's not here. I bet it was taken down. Let me see. Let me see if I can just search for it again. It was Will coming out AI. Let's see if we can find it. Okay, yeah, I think this is it.
Hi, everyone. I am a gay homosexual.
Ew, sick.
Bro, what are you even talking about?
Honey, I don't think now is the best time for an announcement like that.
Hope you didn't want grandkids, Mom, because this queen thinks girl parts are icky. Dude, you like other guys? Nasty, dude. Correction, I like you, specifically. Hot stuff.
How is telling us this going to help us beat Vecna?
Gonna stick my Stranger Thing in Vecna's upside down until he gets AIDS. Fabulous! Alright, I'm out. Yeah, me too. Sissy rainbow magic.
Oh, for...
Okay. Now, that wasn't the one I saw. I want to see if I can find the other one. I think it's, is it roasted? The one I saw was great. If it was, let me see. God damn it. I think it's this one.
I don't like girls.
No, this isn't it. It's the one where, okay, he says, I don't like girls, and then Jonathan's like, oh, hell no. Hold on. I gotta...
Hi, everyone.
No, it's not this one. Hold on, let me find it.
I just...
Allora, io...
I don't like girls.
No, that's not it.
I don't like girls.
You know what else is...
No.
I think you need to know the truth. Because
no, I need to find it.
I don't like girls. I don't like girls.
Damn it.
Fucking gross.
I'm a poo pirate.
You probably should have kept that to yourself.
I gotta find the one, the funniest one. Cook May says, I'm back. My dog got his head stuck under the sink and I had to get him out. What did I miss? So I'm trying to find the AI version of Will coming out, and the first thing that Jonathan says is, oh hell no. It's one of the funniest ones because it's so subtle. I gotta find it. Hold on.
I don't like girls.
Allora,
Hold on.
Hi.
I don't like girls.
Gay.
No. Damn it, dude. I gotta find it. No. I probably won't ever find it. I should have. I fucking saved it. I don't know why it's not here. If they said what they were really thinking.
No, I know you're not like me.
No. Fuck.
I
don't know where I'm gonna. I don't know where it is. It's just like. he'll say like, I don't like girls, and then what's his face says, oh,
I
hell
am
no.
different. I'm like you in almost every way. I don't like girls.
Gay!
I am different.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not gonna find it, dude. I should have fucking... I saved it, but it's not here anymore, unfortunately. Let me see if it's on... I don't know, because I saved it on my Instagram, and it's not here now, and I'm a little mad that it's not here anymore. Let me see. Yeah. I don't know. It's not... I don't even know how to find it. I bet it got removed, because, you know, stuff like that that's so good, it just gets removed, man. Nothing ever stays, unfortunately. Let's check TikTok. We're not gonna stay here too long, because, you know, there's a chance that we might find it here. Maybe later. Okay, let's go here. Let's just type in Will comes out AI. See if we can find it.
Hi, everyone. I am a gay homosexual.
That's not Ew. It. That's not it.
Guys.
No.
Hi, everyone.
God. Where's the one where his brother's like, oh, hell no. Damn it. Yeah, I might... They might have removed it because it was way too good. Everybody's reaction to Will coming out. No. It's not here, dude. That one was... The one that I saw was way too good, and they had to delete it because it was just too funny. If I find it, I'll probably show it to you guys on the next stream, because, dude, this shit... It was so hilarious, because not only... I don't even want to spoil it, but I have to, because I can't find it. But yeah, so... What's her face? Robin. After Will says that, you know, he doesn't like girls... what's his face? Jonathan's like, oh, hell no. You know, you see his mom is like, you're disowned. And then you see Robin get up and walk away, which is just like, that's ridiculous, you know, because she's a lesbian. And then you see Max, who is supposed to be paralyzed in the wheelchair. She stands up and walks away. It's one of the funniest fucking things I've ever seen. It's so subtle. It's so good. But I'm not going to find it because I'm looking for it. So let's keep going.
I mean, I do, just not like you guys do. This crush on someone, even though no, they're not like me. But it was never about him. It was about me. Today, Vecna showed me what would happen if I did this. If I told you guys.
Now, apparently, they filmed this scene for 12 hours, and you know, they just kept filming it over and over again to get like coverage and stuff. And I can only imagine how annoying this scene must have been to do over for 12 hours. And for people, for the backlash to be what it was, how people were just like, dude, this is so unnecessary. I wish they just cut this down, or at least as soon as he starts to say that he doesn't like girls, everybody's like, we know, can we go fight Vecna now? You know, like just completely, you know, let's not make a big deal out of it.
And in this future, some of you are just worried for me. It just makes me feel like something's wrong with me. We just drift apart more and more, and it just felt so real. It felt so real.
You'll never lose me.
And you'll never lose me. Or me.
Or me. Guess you didn't need truth serum, huh? Sucks, but you're gonna have to hug me. Just imagine I'm hugging you really tight, okay?
I know you're strong enough to defeat Vecna. We have bullets and fire, but none of that helped those soldiers. I need to be there. I'm ready to show him I'm not afraid anymore.
It's like, have y'all not learned yet, bro? They don't learn, dog. Peeps are not playing the gay shit, right? Like, you gotta know your audience, bruh. It literally makes no sense. It's not good for business.
Well, the reason it doesn't make sense to you, Stevie, is because you don't understand the context of why he had to do it. You know, the story reason is because Vecna showed him a version of his family rejecting him and him being all alone. And that was what was going to cause him to not be strong enough to go up against him and fight and stuff. So by him admitting it to his family, it basically takes away Vecna's power, and he can actually stand up and be brave and stuff. So that's the reason. But if you're just looking at it on the surface and you're not really thinking that hard, yeah, you're going to have a problem with it.
I would the other characters in the show give two fucks about you being gay when the world is ending, bro. It's like they chose to focus attention on this particular part in the show, had the whole town sitting down for this guy to come out and tell everybody he's gay. I know this man is like gay in real life, bro. Because you know, Stranger Things,
I could care
in the beginning,
less.
they all started off as babies, and then they grew up and became adults. And when this man became an adult, you could immediately tell, bro, swung that way. Well, I guess they decided to take a moment to champion LGBTQ, but you know, ain't nobody trying to watch gayer things. They trying to watch stranger things. You said it. Yeah.
I mean, if you have that big of an issue with it, I mean, you might as well just stay not watching it. You know, you stopped watching it for 2 seasons, and you know, it's like I don't understand why you came back to it.
The show was going down in flames, bro. Stranger Things 5 gets review bombed as Will's coming out becomes worst rated episode on IMDb.
Now, it was the worst rated episode, and it being review bombed, meaning a bunch of people banded together to downvote the episode because they're against anything gay, you know? It's not really about the story itself or the way the episode was structured. They just thought that they don't need that in the episode, you know? So yeah, of course people are going to do a coordinated effort. That's what review bombing is. So it's not necessarily an accurate depiction of the massive fandom around Stranger Things of how they thought about the episode. It wasn't as bad as people are saying it. People just have a problem with gay people. That's all it is.
Stranger Things has been review bombed after December 25th release of season 5, volume 2. The recent episodes have dragged the season's fan-driven Rotten Tomatoes score from the 70s down to 56, a stark decline from the show's previous seasons. For reference, season 4 sits at 89%, 3 at 86%, 2 at 90%, 1 at 96%, bro. That bitch went all the way down to 56%, bro. So y'all tweaking, dog. This definitely gonna be the last season if it wasn't already, man. But it's like, why I gotta go out like that, fam? You feel me? Why I gotta go out like that? Y'all leave this bad taste in everybody's mouth. Like the last thing they gonna remember about Stranger Things is y'all being on some gayer things.
Not true. I mean, the thing is, like, if you want to focus on 5 minutes of an episode, you know, which it wasn't really that major of a plot point. It was just something that needed to happen in order for Will to progress with his fight against Vecna, you know? Like, if he had still had that fear of if his family was going to abandon him, if they knew the truth about him, that he would always have, that Vecna could basically expose that and use that against him. But by him admitting it, it took Vecna's power away. I mean, it's as simple as that, but he doesn't get it.
And that's just not what you should want. You know what I'm saying? But clearly y'all want it, bro. The reason why I was cracking up was at the start of the video, man, because I was reading the comments to this post. The right-wing angel posted, bro, and he made a post in regards to the gay Stranger Things, bro. And I'm reading the comments. Comments are funny as hell. Episode airs on a family day. Family gathers to watch it. Will Byers, I like poo-poo on my pee-pee, Crispin.
I don't know if it's that funny, dude. It's not like belly aching type funny, bro. It's like, it just seems like he's very immature here.
Hold on.
That is not that funny, bro. I don't know what I'm missing here, but yeah, I mean, I guess if you got the IQ of Stevie Knight, man, he thinks that's pretty funny, man.
Oh, bro. Oh, hello. Episode airs on Family Day, Christmas. Family gathers to watch it. Will Byers, I like poo-poo on my pee-pee. Christmas spirit and family time ruined.
If that ruined your family time, whatever, then you guys got bigger problems, man. It's just a TV show of fictional characters. Yes. Is Noah Schnapp really gay in real life? Yeah. Are there gay people in real life? Does that really bother you? Does that ruin your Christmas? Well, maybe your Christmas wasn't that good to begin with.
Oh, that's fire, man. That's fire, dog. Especially when it comes
fire. Okay,
from a woman. It didn't add to the story. That's why between that and the 8 business day long conversation between Max and Holly, I'm not sure what the brothers were thinking with this season. And Millie's lip filler cameo was wild. Kid coming out in the 80s, things that never happened. Why do they always mess up good shows? Let me go add my rating. Need this as close to 0 as possible. Everyone is so sick of the woke identity virtue signaling facts. Love the show and plot, but this was not needed in the plot. Yup, turn that off at the very moment. One of them is already enough. We don't need a bunch of them in one show meant to be watched by young kids, mine included. Thanks.
First of all, Stranger Things is not a kids show. It does feature kids, but it's really for young adults to adults audience. I mean, those of you that watched the show, you know, in like season 4, Vecna was a very scary villain, like a Freddy Krueger type villain. He was lifting people up and breaking their legs and arms and stuff. Very gruesome stuff that I would not want to show to my kids, you know? So this whole thing, like, about trying to protect our children from, you know, any type of, you know, gay agenda or whatever like that, it's like, it's not for kids. So it just happened to have kids starring in the show. Think of it like It. It was definitely made for adults. It has kids in it, but, you know, it has mature themes. It's not for kids to watch.
It's not that the character was gay, it's that no one gives a damn. That's why it was a horrible episode. No one cares he's gay. The world is about to end and the character felt the need to make it all about himself. Like, dude, no one cares. Let's talk about more important shit. Before we go take on the big bad guy in the middle of a fight to save the world, I need to tell you I'm gay for 14 minutes. I mean, for anyone who watched the show, it was obvious he was gay the whole time. Yeah, but bro was gay in real life, dog. Why are you gay? That's what I saw. Stranger Things, no. Gayer Things, check. Ruin the damn show. Does not represent 80s at all. Should have stayed in the closet.
Yep. You know, the thing is, the whole scene could have been written in a way to where he never reveals it, you know? Like, he basically keeps it a secret from his family and friends, and then he still has the same ending where he's in the bar, whatever, and, you know, meeting other men and stuff like that, and just having living his own life and stuff away from his family and friends and stuff. He could have done it. They could have still done it that way. And I don't know if people would have had an issue with it. I just think that there are people out there that, you know, of course, the internet, it just amplifies everybody's thought process in terms of, like, if I hate something and I can be anonymous about it, then yeah, I'm going to, you know, say what I want to do and rate the show, you know, down the way I want to do it. And I mean, people are they're going to hate.
And then to add insult to injury, you know if y'all seen 50 posts, bro, because, you know, the Diddy documentary is #1 on Netflix. It's like #1 in the world, dog. And I suspect that, you know, the Stranger Things production team was expecting Stranger Things to be #1. But, you know, a week or two ago, whenever the shit came out, you know, 50 made this post, you know what I'm saying? Stranger Things spent $500 million in production just to be bumped to #2 by Stranger Things.
By Diddy doing Stranger Things. That's pretty funny.
Meaning the Diddy documentary, Stranger Things, dog, but they just can't get right, bro. You know what I'm saying? You fucking around, dog. You go woke, you go broke, dog. And clearly, everybody's sick of this gay shit. You know what I mean? Sick of
I would say it's a population of people, yeah, that probably have a problem with gay people that have major issues with it. But for most people that, like, don't have an issue with gay people, they're just like, it's just an aspect of the character that he needed to basically reveal so Vecna couldn't use it against him. They can see it from a storytelling perspective, why it was done that way, and it's it. Like, it doesn't ruin the show for them. People can look at the whole story as a whole, and yeah, it's a coming of age story. You know, if you look back on, you know, like The Sandlot, Stand By Me, Goonies, you know, like all of those stories that happened in, you know, the 80s, early 90s and stuff, you got all of these, you know, kids coming of age stories, and that's what Stranger Things was about in the very beginning. It was all about that 80s nostalgia, and it was just cherry picked, like little pieces of parts of movies and shows and stuff that we all remember growing up in the 80s and stuff. But it also kind of did like a little twist on it, and it gave us something new as well. So I don't know. I think some people, they're kind of looking too much into one aspect of the show and kind of losing sight of what the entire show was about.
The gay shit. And to be fair, you know what I'm saying, there are those that are just sick of seeing the emphasis or focus on, you know, woke gay shit and shows that don't fucking matter. But then it's like, you're gonna fuck up the plot to highlight some gay shit, bro. Like, what the fuck you doing, dog? You know what I'm saying? It should remind me of when they went outside with Game of Thrones, bro. That was my shit, and they fucked that shit up, man. So I'm glad I wasn't invested in this shit, dog, because it would have definitely had me hot. You know what I'm saying? Put all my time to watch this goddamn show, and y'all wasting my time talking about some gay shit when, you know, shit finna go crazy, man. But yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of a surface level take that Stevie has. I think it's kind of a bad take because, you know, for one, he didn't watch all of the show throughout. He just kind of dipped in and out, you know. So I don't really think this is kind of a take that we can really take with a grain of salt. I just think it's kind of a nothing, you know. Like, it's just a person that kind of is looking at other people's opinions and forming his opinion off of other people's opinions. And he might have problems with gay people, gay stories, gay agendas and stuff. But the thing is, the story was a lot bigger than that. It just happened to be that the placement of where certain storytelling elements were, you know, some people had a problem with it. But in my humble opinion, I think it was just a very tiny aspect of the show, but there's just a very loud majority of people that are going to voice their opinions online, and those are going to be the ones that are going to be heard the most. Whether there was a lot of people that didn't have a problem with any of it, and they're not going to go online and say that, you know, to counteract these people. So it is. I mean, people are allowed to have their opinions.
Another one bites the dust because he like poo-poo on his pee-pee. Got to be more careful.
Yeah, that's Stevie Knight's take, and I don't know about you guys, but
I don't know. I could care less.
Can't really take it by anything else. So the only thing I'm gonna do now, I guess, that's pretty much all I got. Oh my god. Myron got mad after Alvin Preach chat trolled him in the comments section of their video. Now he's posting Preach on his channel. Myron gains, and he put the Donkey Kong symbol with Preach there. Oh my goodness. Myron deleted his comment here because folks clowned him too hard. He's crashing out, replying to everyone. Now he's posting monkey pictures of Preach on his YouTube. Abu and Preach can't stop losing. And then Boots on the Necks. 2026, I'm cooking Sodom and Gomorrah tomorrow. All right, well, that should be interesting. I'm sure that's going to be pretty funny. That's funny. Let's look. Let's see if there's anything here. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Because didn't he get in trouble last time he did the whole Donkey Kong pictures with Preach? He's really just... It's like he really does not want to get monetized again. Marriage is a humiliation ritual for men in 2026. Let's see what this is all about.
Yeah, first day of the honeymoon, and first thing she does is show her ass cheeks online. This loose-fitting clothing and angle she's shooting at this from is all on purpose. No husband in the frame, on purpose. She's used to getting all that sexual validation when she was single, and she doesn't want to stop now even though she's married. Anyone saying differently is coping. She knows exactly what she's doing, and you know what she's doing. Don't cuck yourself into marrying a woman like this. Instead, find a godly Christian woman that dresses modestly, respects herself, and most importantly, respects you.
Sure. Absolutely. I mean, not every woman is fit for marriage, unfortunately. So, Clav's girlfriend testing his frame on stream. I think I saw this earlier. I want to show you guys this one.
You know, if I fucked up, tell me. I want that energy match. You know.
There's a lot of fuck ups.
Yeah, well, you too. You want to get into our fuck ups? You can get into it.
Don't fucking argue with me.
No, I'm serious. You want to get into it? Because yeah, I got fuck ups with bro. You got fuck ups too. I think chat would not like. I don't think we should share. Honestly.
This woman obviously wants to share the limelight and kind of wants to make a name of her name of herself here.
But if you want to get into it, you can. You want to?
You're the only fucking bitch in all of the United States that could be in a fucking 50th story penthouse, everything paid for, going to clubs, everything, and still a fucking bitch every second of the day.
Oh, you think I bitch every second of the day? Well, why don't we share what you did last night so that they can understand why today I was not having
shut
it
the
and
fuck
I wanted
up.
to go home. Let's share.
I don't give a
You
fuck.
want to share with them?
I don't even remember last night.
Well, then
or the
share
night
with
before.
them.
Bitch, I don't even remember last
Don't call
night.
me a fucking bitch. I'm gonna get up and leave.
Oh, of course.
No, don't call me that. And the fact that you call me ungrateful is unbelievable. Because I don't look at money and shit like that. Like, that's the reason that I'm here. I don't even care.
Okay, so that might be a lie, okay? Because, I mean, she wasn't staying in a penthouse. It probably doesn't work. She probably gets everything paid for her. So, yeah, I mean, it just seems like she's saying this. She can say this, but it's not true because what has been shown to us is that, yeah, she is definitely here for the benefits and also the clout as well.
About that shit. You could be in a shack and I'd still be with you. Like, yes, it's beautiful. I love it and I'm grateful for it. But at the end of the day, I only care about you. So I don't know how you don't get that yet. Like, that's been so clear over so much time.
Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you say Jesus, really? Bro, you're on some weird shit right now. I'm gonna share with the live what the fuck happened last night.
This is why you shouldn't have your relationship on stream, dude. It's like some things just need to be left off stream. And, you know, this little, like, let me just do an IRL of us sitting down, eating and talking and stuff. No script. Let's just bullshit about our lives and stuff. And right now, this is not a flattering moment. And, yeah, it's not good.
Like, why are you even fucking talking about this? I didn't do...
A woman will pretty much ruin your whole reputation if you let her... If you give her a little bit of the spotlight, you know, he needs to kind of control this situation and possibly have it offline. He doesn't need to have this part posted online. It doesn't make him look good.
Very valid and rational in my...
I don't remember what happened last night.
That's your fault.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So don't come at me for having a day where I'm upset. I'm not having it and you keep disrespecting me. I'm not gonna sit there and take it. There's boundaries.
Yeah, he obviously doesn't want to lose her. Otherwise, he would be like, get up and walk away. You know, if you have this type of frame that I could take you or leave you, you know, and you're basically having a come up being with me, then you have to be willing to walk away from her. But he's obviously not in that type of mindset. He would rather keep things the way they are and not really fight back.
You should get that. Like, I don't set crazy boundaries. I literally let you do whatever the hell you want. I sit there and watch. You know? I don't know if you're...
Yeah, not a good look for Mr. Clav here. I think that might be it. Oh, I did see this fight announcement. I don't know if it's real. It could be AI. But you got Adam 22 versus Jason Love. Basically, their connection is that Jason Love smashed Lena the Plug. They made a little movie together, and Adam 22 was okay with it, and now there was a little bit of friction between Jason Love and Adam 22. I don't know if this is real or not. This could be AI. I just saw this and I was like, that's kind of wild. But then I was like, this could be fake. But then I saw this. So Lena the Plug commented, "You got this, baby. Let's go. Clap, clap, clap." And then Adam 22 replied, "Are you talking to me or him?" That's fucked up. And then, you know, she had to clarify, "I'm talking to you, silly." So yeah, it's kind of wild, man. Adam 22, he's just like the cuck, the final cuck here. The video John Anthony lifestyle doesn't want you to see. I don't really want to talk about John Anthony lifestyle. And this is pretty much it. I don't know. I think that's pretty much all I got. I don't think I saved anymore. Let me make sure. Let me check my saved here. Yeah, that one. And I guess that's it. Yeah, that's all I got. Yeah, so that's it for tonight, guys. I guess I do appreciate you guys coming out, man. It was a fun stream. I definitely want to thank you guys again. And I will see you guys on the next one. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I'm going to be enjoying my day off finally, and I'll be spending time with my family. You guys have a wonderful night, and I'll see you guys on the next one. All right? This is Camp Hustle 1. Out.
Camp Hustle 1, squad moves like a freight train. Streaming live Saturdays, no need for a campaign. Cook Benny in the chat, spitting heat, uncontained. Haters lurking in the shadows, they ain't built for this terrain. Covers dropping gems, wisdom sharper than a blade. Exo Charles in the mix, got the whole game amazed. Taking souls for free, no invoice, no delays. Debating Sonic, spitting logic, making waves. Hustlers unite every Saturday night. We shine bright, got the spotlight in sight. Live stream flames, haters take flight. Chopping it with Hank, keep the vibe airtight. Commentary live, no script, just pure flair. Every bar a dagger, leaving doubters in despair. This ain't just a hustle, it's a kingdom we declare. Building brick by brick, we ain't folding under glare. Hank Russell in the cut, breaking bread, trading thoughts. While they talk trash, we strategize and plot. Every stream a canvas, every word a stroke of art. We out here taking names, pulling strings, playing smart. Hustlers unite every Saturday night. We shine bright, got the spotlight in sight. Live stream flames, haters take flight. Chopping it with Hank, keep the vibe airtight.